Have you ever heard of Narmer, the ancient Egyptian pharaoh whose identity has puzzled historians and archaeologists for centuries? Let's venture back in time, to the early dynastic period of Egypt, a time shrouded in mystery and intrigue. Our protagonist for the day is none other than Narmer, an enigmatic figure whose reign is believed to have spanned between 3273 and 2987 BC. Narmer is often hailed as a significant figure in ancient Egyptian history, credited with the grand unification of Egypt and the establishment of the First Dynasty. His name is frequently entwined with that of Menes, the first king of a unified Egypt. Their stories, their identities, and their accomplishments weave together to form a fascinating tapestry of history and legend. But here's the twist. The relationship between Narmer and Menes is a hotbed of debate, fueled by conflicting interpretations of archaeological evidence. So buckle up, as we delve into this captivating historical puzzle in the scenes to come. On one hand we have the Naqada label, and on the other, there's the seal impression from Abydos. Let's start with the Naqada label. This intriguing piece of evidence, a small ivory label discovered in Naqada, features an early hieroglyphic inscription that many scholars interpret as a reference to Narmer. Some argue that this could be a record of his unification of Egypt. However, the interpretation is not clear-cut, and this has given rise to lively debate among historians and Egyptologists. Now let's turn to the seal impression from Abydos, another compelling piece of the puzzle. The seal depicts a king performing a ritual, and many believe this king to be Narmer. If this interpretation is correct, it would lend strong support to the theory that Narmer was indeed the first king of the First Dynasty. But again, not everyone agrees. Some propose that the figure might be another candidate, Hor-Aha, further muddying the waters of this ancient mystery. The debate over whether Narmer and Menes are the same person also fuels much discussion. Some argue they are one and the same, pointing to similarities in their reigns and actions. Others, however, propose that they were different rulers, with Menes potentially being an honorific title rather than a personal name. Adding to the evidence are the necropolis ceilings discovered in Abydos. These ceilings, bearing the name of Narmer, provide further proof that he was indeed the first king of the First Dynasty. They suggest that Narmer had a significant role in the unification of Egypt, and that his reign marked a major transition in the country's history. However, the mystery doesn't stop there. The unification of Upper and Lower Egypt, as depicted on the renowned Narmer Palette, is another piece of the puzzle. The palette, a two-sided ceremonial artifact, features intricate carvings thought to represent the unification of Egypt under Narmer. But is it a literal representation of historical events, or is it purely symbolic? This question continues to spark debate among scholars, leaving us with a fascinating mystery that continues to captivate us thousands of years later. Is the Narmer Palette a representation of an actual historical event, or is it purely symbolic? This renowned artifact, depicting the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt, has puzzled scholars for years. Yet, the discovery of a year label of Narmer at Abydos by archaeologist Gunter Dreyer suggests that this palette may indeed depict a historical event. But let's delve a bit deeper. Archaeological evidence points to a partial unification of Egypt even before Narmer's reign. Traces of trade and a limited presence in Lower Egypt during the reigns of his predecessors have been found. However, Narmer's reign marked a significant shift. His extensive inscriptions in both Lower Egypt and Canaan demonstrate a qualitative difference in his role compared to those who came before him. This suggests a fascinating possibility. The unification process may have begun before Narmer, but it was his conquest of Apollonie in the northwest delta that completed the task. This indicates that while the unification process began before him, it was completed by his conquest of Apollonie in the northwest delta. So, is Narmer and Menes the same person? The mystery continues. As we've traversed the sands of time, we've delved into the enigma that is Narmer, a figure whose identity remains shrouded in the mists of antiquity. We've grappled with the tantalizing clues left behind in the form of the Naqada label, the seal impression from Abydos, the Narmer Palette, and the year label discovered at Abydos. Yet, the riddle remains unsolved. Was Narmer the grand unifier of Egypt? Did he establish the First Dynasty? Or are we looking at two separate historical figures conflated into one? The debate rages on, fueled by the conflicting interpretations of the archaeological evidence. What we can conclude, however, is that Narmer was a pivotal figure in ancient Egyptian history, his reign marking a significant turning point. As we delve deeper into the life and reign of Narmer, We will continue to explore the controversies and debates surrounding this pivotal figure in ancient Egyptian history.